Me or Zach?
Coming to you live from downtown Windsor, this is a St. Clair College MediaPlex production.
Hello, everybody, and live from the MediaPlex Center, I'm Grace Little.
And I'm Zachary Ballog.
And you're watching
the MediaPlex Insider. Personally, I know nothing about cars, but Joe Bedard does.
So let's hear what he has to say.
Hello everyone, I'm Joseph Bedard with the MediaPlex, and this is Cars Just Aren't That Scary, a segment of the show where I teach you some tips and tricks on how to do some basic vehicle maintenance, even if you've never touched a car before. Now today, I'm not actually going to be showing you how to do a job, rather I'm going to be showing you how to get parts to do a job. So, how about we just get into it? Now I'm not filming with my normal camera today, and that's because we're going to a junkyard, and they don't exactly allow big broadcast cameras to film with. So I'll be filming with my phone. So why are we going to a junkyard? It's because of this. That is a rear reflector that I need to make the car look a little better. Unfortunately though, the dealer wants to charge me $50, a used car parts store wants to charge me $30, and I think I can get it for $10 at a junkyard. There's one in Windsor called Kenny U-Pull on Ojibwe Parkway. We're going to be headed there right now. As mentioned before, the junkyard I'm heading to is called Kenny U-Pull, which is a pick-and-pull junkyard. A pick-and-pull junkyard is pretty much a junkyard that you have to bring your own tools, go into the yard, and take the parts that you want to purchase off of the car yourself. The parts that I'm going to the junkyard to grab are a couple of 12-volt 70-amp relays, a plastic clip for my hood prop, and the rear reflector I mentioned previously. Alright, so now that we're here at the junkyard of choice, Kenny U-Pull, down in near Ojibwe Parkway, we are going to go and get some parts. So how about we do that? With over 12 million cars being scrapped each year, that is a lot of parts that might still be in perfect working condition. Just because a car is in a rear-end collision, for example, doesn't mean its engine should be scrapped along with the car. That is why these junkyards are so great. All of these cars potentially have parts that are almost brand new, and they're sold cheaper than anywhere else. Sure, you have to take the parts off yourself, which could turn some people away, but honestly, I see it as practicing the job before you do it yourself. If you mess up or break something here, you then know what not to do on your personal car. So, we found a car, a 2013 Ford Focus. It's not an ST, but we will see if it works, because if you look here, if you look closely here, you actually got a decent in-condition reflector. So we're going to take that out and see how it looks. So to get this reflector out, gotta sneak down here real quick, and you'll actually see up here, it's just two clips. So we gotta grab a pair of pliers, or like needle nose or something, to squeeze those plastic bits out, and it should come right out. And with that, it's been out. Clips are intact. We just gotta hope that this actually fits the car now. Now we gotta go grab the other things we needed. And from the same car, we should be able to get our relays. Oh, that was easy. Be able to get our relays here. Sick. So we got 1, 2, 3. So these are the 3 that we need. So I'm gonna pull those out, and yeah, let's get it going. I should mention, while I technically only need 1 of these relays, I'm grabbing 3 of them because if one of them's bad, I got 2 extra as spare. There's 3. And we're gonna double check the side here, make sure they're the proper 12 volt, 70 amp fuse. Cool beans, it's good to go. So what I ended up getting was a couple of relays, a piece to hook my hood prop in, and a reflector, but they're gonna let me see if it fits first. So once I get all that sorted out and all built up, I'll let you guys know what the actual price ended up being. And then we'll do some quick math to see how much it would have cost to get all this stuff brand new. So brand new, the relays would have been about $40 each. The plastic piece would have been about $15, and the reflector would have been $85. I didn't end up getting the reflector from the junkyard as it didn't fit quite right, but without it, I only spent $19 at Kenny U-Pull. Each relay was $5, and they only charged me about $1 for the hood clip. That means, brand new, I would have spent $135, not including taxes, but at the junkyard, I saved about $116, only spending the $19 in total. Junkyards are a very good way to save a few dollars and get some car parts for cheap that you need, find some specialized parts that you really have a hard time describing or you just can't find anywhere else, while also saving the environment and recycling. As you saw throughout the video, there are so many different vehicles inside that junkyard, and that's just one location. Imagine if all of those cars were just thrown away, never to be thought of again. So many good parts down the drain, so much money that could have been saved, and so much waste just out there. So that's what's great about junkyards, and that's what's great about going there and getting your own car parts. It gives you experience working on cars, while also allowing you to save a few dollars. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. My name is Joseph Bedard with the MediaPlex. I hope I've shown you that cars just aren't that scary. And I'll see you in the next one.
So Joe knows his cars, and it seems Georgia knows her way around the house. We sure are learning a lot today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Simplifying Life with Georgia. Today, I'm going to be showing you 5 life hacks you can use to clean your house. Let's get into it. Did you know that you can make DIY Windex with just 1 part vinegar and 1 part water? It works like a charm. You can also make an all-purpose cleaner with 2 cups of water and half a tablespoon of dish soap. An efficient way to save money on your Swiffer sweeper is to use a fuzzy sock. Just throw it in the wash afterwards, and there you have it. Take a pair of tongs and wrap a dishcloth around it to make a device to easily clean blinds. Need to clean your drains? Pour 1 cup of boiling water down your drain along with half a cup of baking soda, a full cup of vinegar, and 1 cup of hot water. Bubbles will start to come out of the other side of the drain. Just run the hot water and it will clean out all the gunk and dirt in your drain. Well, there you have it. Those were 5 life hacks that you can use to clean your house. I'm Georgia LeBlanc with MediaPlex News.
Phones, some love them, some hate them, but Tony shows us how to turn them into a multitasking tool.
Oh, I didn't see you there. So we all have these cell phones in our pockets, but did you know the extent of what you can do with that tiny device? Today, I'll shine a light on 3 cool features you may not have known about. To start with, did you know that Samsung phones can actually be used like a desktop computer? If you connect it up with an HDMI cable via a USB-C adapter, the monitor you are connected to turns into a full desktop-style experience. Take this further by connecting a mouse or a keyboard to the hub, and you have a fully comparable setup. You have access to everything you can normally do on your phone this way, including word processing in the Google suite of tools, browsing the internet, using your streaming apps, and even playing games. Speaking of playing games, you may not have realized the extent of what can be played on smartphones nowadays. Both iPhones and Android phones can play a whole host of retro games via emulation, spanning all the classic systems up to the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and even some Nintendo Switch titles. On Android devices, you can even play PC games right on your phone using apps like Game Hub and Game Native. Combine that with the desktop features, and it's like having a portable PC right in your pocket. Now, that's all well and good, but what if I don't have any cables to hook up to a TV? What if I want to, let's say, show a video from my phone to some family on a big TV? This is where the app VLC Media Player comes in handy. With VLC, you can cast any piece of media from your phone to a castable device. This includes your phone, your photos, and your videos, along with any music, movies, or TV shows you have downloaded on your device. It's like having a streaming app for everything you can load on your phone. As a bonus, the Samsung DeX feature, which you can use as a desktop device, can also be cast, opening the possibilities of what can be cast from not only media to practically everything on your phone. While the stock phone experience is already great, I'm sure any of these options can bring even more creative uses out of your phone. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta get back to work. For MediaPlex News, I'm Tony Tavaleri.
Punchkis, there are no calories in them, are there? Well, at least not on Fat Tuesday.
It's Punchki Day here at Black's Bakery, an absolute landmark in the heart of Little Italy here in Windsor, Ontario. Punchkis, a delicious donut filled with jelly or custard and topped with powdered sugar, has been a huge seller at Black's Bakery for decades now, with Shrove Tuesday reportedly being their busiest day of the year. They must be good to brave the traffic outside this unassuming little building on a usually quiet residential street.
Black's Bakery's been here over 100 years, and their pastries are the best ever. And I've been on Neary Street since 1968.
So you've seen how busy it gets on Punchki Day?
Oh, it's amazing. There's lineups all the time.
Do you like punchkis?
Oh, we love it. I can't eat them as many as I used to because I'm a diabetic, but I'll have a couple going here and there.
How long have you been coming to Black's Bakery?
As long as I've been a little gopher.
How long would you say that is?
Oh, geez. Well, now I'm saying my age, right? 67 years.
Do you enjoy the punchkis
Yes,
here?
dear. Yeah. Come every year.
Do you plan on continuing the tradition?
As long as I can keep moving.
In an interview with AM 800, Valerie Black-Gill of Black's Bakery said they had been taking orders since the 1st of February. With an estimated 35,000 punchkis to make, let's hope everyone gets whatever flavor they want. For MediaPlex News, I'm Kelly Scheffler.
Let's head over to Zach with a look at the weather. So Zach, is it you that has brought us all this nice weather recently?
For the good parts about the weather, yes. For the snow that's upcoming, no, I can't be held accountable for that. Anywho, let's take a look at a snapshot that I took earlier of the sun in between the clouds. Very neat stuff from the riverfront today. All right, let's take a look what's going on in the northeast, because they are digging out after feet of snow. Feet. You can call it 60 centimeters. You can call it whatever you want. Feet of snow in the northeast. All right, let's take a look at what's going on currently right now. Currently, it is 5 below zero right now, with gusts of 6 kilometers an hour and, of course, 16-kilometer visibility, and the humidity sits at 48%. Let's take a look at that 3-day forecast, shall we? Wednesday, we have a high temperature of 0 with some flurries, but Thursday and Friday, we actually get some sunshine in here. We were originally to get a system on Thursday, but that looks to stay farther to the south in the United States. But going beyond that, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday into the first part of March, we're getting on that roller coaster. You know, it is that time of year. Grace?
Joe Siddall had a front row seat to all of the Blue Jays' fabulous run to the World Series. And today, Marshall Kewen pulled up beside him to hear what he had to say about the glorious moments.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2-Minute Warning. I'm your host, Marshall Kewen, and today we have a very special guest. He has played in the MLB for the Montreal Expos, Florida Marlins, and Detroit Tigers. Give a very special welcome to Toronto Blue Jays analyst, Joe Siddall. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Marshall. How are you doing?
I'm doing not so bad myself. All right, I got a couple questions here for you. I'm just going to pick your brain, and should be
perfect
over before you know it. So, you had the very unique opportunity this year to not only call a game in the World Series or work in the World Series, but the team you were working for made it there. Unfortunately, a little heartbreak happened where they didn't win. Unfortunate, but what is the difference between your day-to-day preparation for a regular season game and preparation for a World Series game?
Well, it's a real good question, Marshall. And the reason I say that is because during the postseason with Major League Baseball and all of the rules that are in place, the days are very different. During the regular season, we have a lot of clubhouse access time where we can go talk to players, coaches. We do visit with the manager. But once the playoffs roll around, especially the World Series, there are specific times, and we're not necessarily allowed in the clubhouse now at all unless you're the game broadcaster, the play-by-play, and the analyst doing the game, like from Fox, the national networks, or ours. But you have press conferences, and the manager and a player or two from each team, the next day starting pitcher, will be in the press conference room. Tons of people in there, as you can imagine, the media coverage. So it is very different. I actually don't like that part of the season for that reason as much. Love the playoffs, love playoff baseball, love the World Series, but unfortunately we don't have that same access where I can grab a Blue Jays player anytime and just ask him something. I was able to get a couple of guys. I talked to Freddie Freeman on occasion, a couple of guys from the Dodgers as well. You can be out on the field and that can happen, but it's just not, it's just so orchestrated that and you understand because they don't want, there was Canadian media, American media, all of the Japanese media. There was media all over the place for covering this World Series.
From a media standpoint, we're going to continue on that topic. What's it like to watch a team capture an entire nation like the Blue Jays did this season?
As a broadcaster, we're starting to get used to it. You know, I started this back in 2014. The last Blue Jays playoff runs were in 15 and 16 there. This was different, and it was so different because now we've gotten to a point where it's a new team now, and when Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins took over, it took a while. And if you think about their last few trips to the postseason, all losses, wild card losses, 2 and out, 3 straight times, or 3 times, 6 losses. This time, though, not only do they win the AL East, but then they get the bye, and then it's to the division series, the championship series, and it just felt like every series, each series there, it just kept building, and it kept building. And I can tell you, there is nothing like hearing 40-something thousand people in the Rogers Centre in Toronto singing "O Canada," like so loud they're almost drowning out the singer. And I mean that in a complimentary way because it was a fascinating scene. And I keep saying this country, I also want to include, and Blue Jays fans everywhere, because we hear from them everywhere. We hear from Blue Jays fans in the UK, overseas, all over the world. Obviously, the country has just gotten behind this team, especially on the run that it went on. And unfortunately, in this game, the longer you play, especially when it goes into that calendar flip into November, and when it doesn't end your way, it hurts even more. That was a tough one for Blue Jays fans everywhere.
Yeah, so you had a very unique career, pretty typical within some people in the baseball world, where you were a player for several years and then you transitioned to being a broadcast analyst. What is that transition like?
A lot of it, to be honest with you, is utilizing your knowledge and your insight of the game, what you're seeing, the way you react to what's happening on the field, and you're doing it just in a different way now. You're doing it now from behind a microphone. And most of the time, to be honest with you, when I'm talking about pitch sequencing or analyzing a play or talking about how this pitcher is pitching going into the 6th inning and how he's saving his bullpen today, all of those things I'm talking about are things I talked about when I had a uniform on sitting on the bench, when I was catching between innings, talking to a teammate, talking to my pitching coach, talking to a manager. It's really just an extension of being a player. And I think I've always said that this is the greatest job in the world because really it's the closest you can get to playing, talking about the game every day, being around the game every day, talking to players, managers, coaches. And when you can't play anymore or when you choose not to play anymore, it is the next best thing because I still feel like it's a little bit of that adrenaline rush that you feel like sometimes I'm still sitting behind the plate.
And I want to really capture that one thing. You said that it kind of brings you back to the days where you had your uniform on. What is the biggest difference from the players today, the prep they do before a game, the equipment that they're exposed to within the weight room, and just overall how far the technology has come in baseball equipment? What does that compare to back in the day when you played?
So I think more, first and foremost, when you started talking about the workouts and the things guys use, technology has, in every sport, and we've seen it in golf, we've seen it in hockey, and especially we've seen it in baseball. And when I say technology, it's the slow motion cameras that they have, the things that can be measured now. I mean, you can literally take a picture into their lab and slow-mo cameras can see the grip on the ball, the arm angle, the hand position, the axis of spin on the baseball. They can really design pitches. It almost sounds like robotics.
Yeah.
But that's how good and how exact the science is now. In my day now, I'm a little bit older, so say 30 years ago, I'd be with our pitching coach and he'd say, get the elbow up a little bit more and try to get out front with it. I mean, there wasn't too much more than that. There was more than that, but nothing scientifically, that's for sure. And I think too, when you think about the information in the game. So we hear the word analytics, and it's almost like this boogeyman word in baseball or in sports now, because the old school, it's old school. I call it baseball. I don't like using the term old school. It's baseball. But we didn't have the information they have now. So we used to think if you were a hitter coming up, I had the scouting report right here because we had meetings before a series, and I knew that, okay, with this guy, let's start him hard away early, and then late you can get him to chase the breaking ball in the dirt. Or he really likes to swing at the first pitch, so let's be careful with that first pitch. That was basic information. Now you've got hot and cold zones of hitters. The catchers have wristbands to tell you every count, what they do, where you should go. If it's 1 and 2, you should go to this area of the zone with a harder pitch or a breaking pitch. And if it's early in the count, first pitch, this is where you should stay. So the information is through the roof. I would almost say sometimes to a fault, because as players now, and I watch this as a broadcaster, I think sometimes you can use that as a crutch and just fall into counting on that information instead of utilizing the information, but also utilizing that brain, because that to me is the best tool there is for any athlete.
Great. I want to thank you for your time, giving me the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for our show. I'm Marshall Kewen, and you have been watching 2 Minute Warning.
Zach is here with a Did You Know? So Zach, what exactly do you know?
Behind me is the historic Essex Railway Station. This train hub was built in 1887 by the Michigan Central Railway Company, and this was when Essex was the main transportation hub. In 1907, the building suffered major damage when a rail box car carrying nitroglycerin exploded, causing damage to the station as well as nearby buildings. The building was restored at the time and continued to serve the community for many years. Eventually, passenger service was discontinued and the building stood empty. Efforts to preserve the building began in 1975 and continued until the completion of the restoration in 1994.
This was the scene moments after an explosion and fire early last Thursday morning. The explosion demolished almost a block of the town's main street, shook some residents literally out of their beds, and blew windows out for blocks.
The station not only suffered one explosion, but two. A blast rocked Essex on February 14, 1980, causing significant damage to the town. However, the station did escape the worst of the damage. Today, the station contains a variety of railway memorabilia and artifacts of historical interest. Visitors can take self-directed tours by means of a tour booklet, or group tours can be arranged if prior notice is given. The more you know. For the MediaPlex and Zach Tech Productions, I'm Zachary Ballard. Pauline Bounier is a gifted singer-songwriter and a graduate of our program. Let's watch.
So this song is called Antes de Ti from the artist Mon Laferte. She's an artist from Chile who has different genres of music, including rock, pop, cumbia, and multiple other styles that she handles in her music. This song specifically means Before You. It's a song about the celebration of the new love, and it means basically just the welcoming of a love that never felt as before, and the first time that someone feels loved for real. So it comes from this saying like, before you, I felt that I was always alone, that I was like walking through the dark side of the moon. I didn't know the love before you. So it's basically the expression and the explanation of like that before a lot of suffering with other people who hurt you, finally you meet someone who is someone that treats you and loves you in a way that is the first time that you know what real and true, honest love is.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Zachary Balog.
And I'm Grace Little.
And you've been watching the MediaPlex Insider.